Back at it again, and we've got another video here talking about the speaker of the soon to be possibly new speaker of the house that I wanted to check out with you guys. I'm really interested in all of this and seeing, is it gonna be Kevin? If not Kevin, who's it gonna be? And what do people think and feel about this whole situation? So that's what we're going to be jumping into today. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Make sure you're following me on social media too. And with that being said, let's dive in.
Looking live at Capitol Hill, where Republicans should take control of the House tomorrow. But first, they have to elect a speaker. Kevin McCarthy reportedly told fellow Republicans he will support a rules change, making it easier for Congress to change speakers in a bid to get support of those against him. So what will that concession make a difference to the 5 Republicans, including our next guest, who say
5 GOP holdouts? Rep Biggs, I'm not familiar with that name. I know who Matt Gaetz is. Norman, not familiar. I guess the only person I'm familiar with is Gaetz. Interesting. All right.
They will not vote for McCarthy. Virginia Congressman Bob Good joins us now. Congressman, thank you for taking time joining us here on the January 2nd, first day. You're going to have a busy day tomorrow on the Hill. My first question to you, sir, because you're one of the 5, is there any scenario under which you could support and vote for Kevin McCarthy?
No, I won't be voting for Kevin McCarthy tomorrow. He's part of the problem. He's not part of the solution. I'll be following the will of my constituents, the voters of Virginia's 5th District, who hundreds of which have told me over the past couple of years not to support Kevin McCarthy. What I told them when I started my first term 2 years ago is I would judge him by what he did as minority leader, and there's nothing he's done to earn my vote. There's nothing that indicates to me that he's going to change his pattern since he's been in leadership, where he's part of the Swamp Cartel. He's the reason on the Republican side.
The Swamp Cartel. That's a new term. Swamp monsters, just drain the swamp in general. The Swamp Cartel. Never heard that one. I like it though. The Swamp Cartel.
He's been in leadership, where he's part of the Swamp Cartel. He's the reason on the Republican side why we passed massive omnibus spending bills like just got rammed down our throats by Republicans in the Senate. He was part of that in leadership since he's been in leadership over the past 8 years. There's nothing about Kevin McCarthy that indicates that he will bring the change that's needed to Washington or that's needed to the Congress, or he'll bring the fight against the Biden-Schumer agenda and represent the interests of the voters who sent us to Washington to bring real change.
Congressman, you wrote in an op-ed that we must elect a speaker who will pursue a true conservative policy agenda. So if it's not Kevin, who would you vote for?
Well, what we'll do is we'll block Kevin. There'll be, I suspect, 10 to 15 members who will vote against him on the first ballot tomorrow that will vote for Andy Biggs. But then I think you'll see on the second ballot an increasing number of members vote for a true candidate who can represent the conservative center of the conference, can motivate the base, inspire Republicans across the country, get to 218 votes, bring our conference together to fight against the radical Democrat agenda, the most extreme agenda we've ever seen.
Wait, let me stop you there. Who is that name? Here we are in the 11th hour. There are no names. Give me a name. It's not Andy Biggs. Andy Biggs isn't going to win.
Well, I'm going to resist for a few more hours what I have resisted for the last several weeks, because, as you know, if we were to put forth a name right now or over the last few weeks, that person would suffer all the attacks and retaliation and all the threats.
So you don't have a name. What leader?
Absolutely. Griff, you'll see that name tomorrow on the second ballot.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because, and I don't mean to brag.
Who do you guys think it's going to be? He said they aren't going to reveal a name until, obviously it's time for them all to vote. So who do you think it will be? Let me know in the comment section. And I see what he's trying to do there, because we know the establishment was going to absolutely, completely go after whomever they named. So yeah, I get it. Keep it on the down low until it's time, and then voila, what do you know? So I see what he's getting at. I know are they? What in the world? Looks like some construction is going on. Huh? Interesting.
browbeat you, but here we are with so
Bring it on.
many issues that Republicans want to get going. Comer wants to get started on the oversight. Jordan wants to get started on judiciary, and this clearly is going to hold it up. You say you will block in that first vote. You're laying down the marker. Will you accept responsibility for the damage that may do to Republicans as they try and begin a new chapter?
You know, it's funny, Griff. Conservative pundits, conservative media has criticized Kevin McCarthy and the Republican leadership, the Republican establishment all of these years, and yet they want us to now surrender to that and to vote for the status quo, to continue what we've always done, so we'll get what we've always gotten. Some of us came to Congress to bring true transformational change to Congress, to Washington. We're willing to risk everything to save this country, to save the Republic.
I like this guy. I like this guy. I like this guy. He's got some cojones, okay? He seems to have a pair of cojones, all right? It was like, yeah, I'm fine with it. We're fine with risking it all. We're not going to go with the status quo. That's not what we're here for. You guys have been bashing these folks all this time. I love how he called them out. Call them out. Anybody. I don't care who it is. Could be Fox. Could be anybody. Don't care. If you're a hypocrite, you're going to get called out. I respect that. I respect it. Love it.
We're teetering on the brink as a country with an open border, with $32 trillion in national debt, a woke education system, a weakened military, and we know what we will get with Kevin McCarthy. So we're going to block that. To suggest that out of 222 members of Congress on the Republican side, there's only one person who can be the speaker just because he happens to be the current minority leader or the minority leader.
Who is he? Is it? Could you envision Steve Scalise elevating from majority leader?
We're going to find out tomorrow on the second ballot, Griff.
So if that indeed occurs in the second ballot, what is it? What proof do you have that there is enough votes for that person on a second ballot? Because you've got so many of the Republicans that said, hey, we wanted these changes, particularly the motion to vacate, which McCarthy has given, along with several of the rule changes that McCarthy laid out yesterday that conservatives wanted. How are you going to get the numbers for that person? It seems like you're headed into a real mess.
Griff, we shouldn't be in a hurry to make a bad decision. It's worth it to fight for a few hours or even a few days to get the best possible person for speaker instead of just surrendering to the status quo, surrendering to the establishment. Now, if you want earmarks continued, Kevin McCarthy is your speaker. If you want massive Democrat spending bills passed for the Republican majority, as happened the last time he was the majority leader when we had control of Congress, Kevin McCarthy is your speaker. If you want to surrender the power of the purse and to not fight for true change, for true conservative principles, Kevin McCarthy would be your choice for speaker. But that's not what we're going to vote for tomorrow. And there's many Republicans within our conference who are privately acknowledging they know he doesn't have the votes. They know that he's not a trustworthy leader. They know he's not a real conservative. And they're ready to vote against him once we put forth a true challenge candidate on that second ballot.
I think a majority of Republicans seem to want to get started to address those issues you mentioned. And there are reports out there this morning in some of the Washington press that this is personal for you. In just the last 10 seconds, how do you respond to that? Is this personal?
That's just silly. We're doing what we know is right for the country, what our constituents want us to do. We're doing this for those who voted for us to bring true change to Washington, fight against the Biden-Schumer agenda, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that happens with a strong conservative leader who represents the conservative voters across the country who sent us to Washington.
Congressman Bob Good, thank you for your time this morning. We look forward to seeing what happens tomorrow, sir.
Put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game, coach. Watching some of this stuff, part of me wants to get involved, not just make videos, but actually become like a politician, But then I'm like, I don't. Part of me doesn't want to deal with the BS of it all, and just having to look at these two-faced folks in the face, just knowing, they're all snakes, slithering in the grass. Oh man, but I'm excited. I like that guy. I like him. I like him a lot. He seemed to have a pair of cojones. Didn't care. He was like, hey, even if we don't get, the guy or gal that we prefer over Kevin, I think it's worth it to give it a shot. And I'm not mad at that. I can't be mad at that. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So he's going to try something a little bit different. Him and a group of them are going to try something different and not immediately push Kevin into there, as a lot of the establishment seems to want. we're gonna at least give it a shot. I gotta respect that. I gotta respect it. Y'all let me know if y'all feel the same way. And who do you guys think the mystery person is? Who do you think? I mean, he seems confident that once the mystery person is revealed on the second round, or in the second round, that people will rally behind them. But let me know. Who do y'all think? Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Peace and love. I'm out.